introduction to Power BI, and then she also talked about data cleaning and the likes. So from those of us that are raising our hands, can you, give me just a brief summary of what you learned in the last session, in the last class? So quickly, in 1 minute, just a summary of the last class, your the takeaway from the session. Okay, so who else wants to speak? The people whose mic have been unmuted are not responding. So who else wants to give reply to that? So nobody. We don't have any key takeaway from the previous session. Okay, Obina, Rosemary. Okay, I will mute you now. Yeah, okay. So I'm unmuting you. Yes, in just 1 minute, please, so that we can save time. Thank you. So your mic has been unmuted, Obina.
Okay,
Obina,
good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, clearly.
Okay, the last class would have been more fun, but the truth is the network was a mess. So, but the only thing we're able to do is just a brief review of what Power BI is all about, going through the environment of Power BI, and then the part where we did data fill, where we use the first row to fill up the other rows. That's just what we did.
Oh, but did you do anything on data cleaning?
Not really. Network did not allow us to do much.
Okay. So because this class is for data modeling, but not to worry, I'll touch that, and we can go on with the class. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
very
Bina,
much.
for your feedback. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Data modeling fundamentals. Okay. So briefly, I'll be talking about what data modeling is. What is data modeling? So in simple terms, I'm sure we've all, at a point or the other, we've come across the word data modeling, and there are a lot of definition out there. But the most important thing is that when you hear the word data modeling, you understand what it actually means. So basically, in real life work, so data cleaning is just all about data modeling, rather connecting your tables, using the relationship that exists between tables. But in real terms, relationship refers to columns. So we have, let me open my Power BI. You have sorry about that. Oh. Okay. So let's go to, I'm sure you work with Power Query also in Excel. Yes. So this is a table, and these are columns. So when we talk about data modeling, all you want to do is to create relationship between tables, and don't let the word relationship confuse you. It's just like in real life, when you want to connect to someone, you have a relationship with someone, meaning that you have something in common. So a column in table A that speaks to table B, that's what we refer to as the building block for the relationship in data modeling. So there are some key concepts in data modeling. You need to understand what terms like normalization, the normalization means. And I hope that answers what data modeling means, basically. The whole process of creating relationship between tables. I hope we got that. I want to see our reactions if you got that.
Yes, we did.
Okay, because basically it's just creating relationship between tables. So then you can go on and read more, definition about it. But in simple terms, it's just relationships. Okay, that's right. So let's go to the different techniques that we have. So for data modeling, we have various techniques. You should have heard about star schema, snowflakes. Is anyone that has not heard about star schema, snowflakes, and the likes? Okay, so basically for star schema, you have a central facts table and then other dimensions table that are connected to it. When I talk about facts table or dimension table, you don't have to be confused at all. So let's say you have a complaint and then what you sell soap. The major business activity there is that sales of soap. Our fact table would contain the major business events, which are, oh, on a particular day, we sold 50 packs of this item to customer A, to customer B. So the fact tables in simple and clear terms is just a table that contains a major business event. So if you're, let's say you're a caterer, you bake cakes, or your company serve people cakes, the major business event is that, oh, people are ordering cakes. So that order table that shows on this particular day, this number of items were ordered. This is the geographical location. That means I'm talking about the city, the state that the order comes from. So all of those activities, which are the major business events, like, oh, these are the customers that. So on that table, you have the sales transaction, the date that the order was made. You have the quantity that was ordered. You have the amount that was sold. And then all of those major activities are what you can find in your fact table. So when we talk about the dimension table is not like what you use to slice or dissect your fact table. What do I mean by that? So your dimension table basically can now tell you more about your facts. We'll also look at that when we start, when I open, when we go back to the modeling tab on Power BI, so we can look at that. So dimension is just telling us that, okay, we've sold 50,000 copies of this particular product. Where did the sales come from? Who are the customers responsible for it? What area, what region have we made much sales? So dimension table now gives you more information about that, so that you can now find region. Oh, these are the region where we had much sales. These are the age group of people that patronize this particular product more. And you know why it's necessary to understand these things is that for your analysis, if you don't have a good understanding of how to now differentiate between your facts and dimension, it will affect your overall analysis. And if you're working on a project, let's say you left the job and then someone wants to continue, so it's not going to be so clear. In fact, your analysis contains so much error. So it's important that we understand what facts and dimension is. Like what you can see on my screen, fact tables cause business events. Yes, the dimension table provide descriptive, and you know, most time when you hear anything about descriptive analysis, it's just like telling you more about that data. It provides descriptive information about facts and directly linked to the central fact table. Okay. It is also this. So this is the star schema, like what you can see. The center table, the table is at the center, connected to other dimension table. It helps to also optimize query performance. So okay, this is a snowflake schema. So snowflake, really, you have, okay, in this example here, you have a central fact table connected to other dimension table. The dimension table itself now is now connected to other sub dimension table. So in real life, you have sales table connected to, let's say, product category. Then now there's another subcategory again connected to this dimension table. But most times, a lot of times, people usually work with the star schema. And then it is also important you just familiarize yourself with snowflake schema. As you can see, it contains the fact table, the dimension table. I mentioned normalized structure. Yes. So yes, in normalization, when we talk about data modeling, it's very important that we know what normalization is and denormalization. Okay, please, am I going too fast? I need responses. I need reactions. Okay. Are you still with me? Okay. So I need our responses, please.
You're doing okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. So far I've talked about what data modeling is in simple terms, what fact table is, what a dimension table is, and then the techniques for data modeling I mentioned the star schema. I also mentioned the snowflake schema, and that's what we are talking about here. So while explaining the snowflake schema, we can see that another attribute of it is a normalized structure. And I'm saying that for any time you hear the word data modeling, you should be familiar with what data normalization is and what the normalization is. So an example of what data normalization does is that it ensures that you don't have duplications, and then more like a way of reducing redundancy. So let's say you look at the data set. It's part of when you do data cleaning a lot, you're looking at your data set and you're saying that, oh, a lot of information are repeated unnecessarily. That data set needs to be normalized. You try to, like, in as much as possible, take out the duplicates, ensure that only the data set that is required for the analysis is what you bring in. Any other thing that is not related or will not even give you any insight, you take it out. So that's just the process of normalization. So I hope this explanation gives you a clear summary of what normalization is. And now when we say denormalization, just like the opposite, it's like you're deliberately introducing redundancy into your data. Why? Let's say you have a small business now. Someone that has a small business, you don't want to have customer table separate somewhere, other table, the other dimension table that talks about the customer details, the region they are coming from, the city. When all I do is to sell, maybe my business point is just for one particular area alone. So in that kind of situation, you want to bring all of those data into just one single file. Sometimes it could even be an Excel file that has everything: customer name, customer number, the region or area is still the same place. So you don't have so much that you want to really break it down into different places. So you want to denormalize such data and then make sure that it is consolidated. It's just one single report. Usually for small businesses, you don't really have any reason why you want to break it down into anyway. Just bring everything together into one space. That explains the concept of denormalization. Okay. So I have here, okay. Yeah. Okay. So why do we need data modeling? And then what are the best practices? Okay. So here I have yes, understanding the business requirements. So most times as a data analyst, you're working with a business, you want to understand why. Why do you want to break down your data are given to into this particular category of data will be a dimension, this is fact. It comes with first understanding the business requirements. And then for data modeling, it is very, very important that your data quality, your consistency, all of this comes from the part of when you start doing more of data cleaning. Someone asks a question about fill up, you're having null values in your data set, you're having blanks. So you want to model your data in a way that your data is your focus on data integrity. That talks about the quality and the consistency in your data. So we'll look into the fill up and filling thing. I think 2 or 3% asked about that. And then you also want to improve your performance optimization. When you have an efficient data model, your performance is also improved. Also maintaining our scalability. So let's say as time goes on, most times when you are developing in Power BI and you're working with a data model, you want to update it as probably the business grows bigger, the other subcategory introduced. So you want to ensure that whatever you are building as your framework, as your structure on your data model, so that it can take in new, or if you want to introduce changes to it, it can take in new sources, can take in new data set and all of that. But if you build it in a way that everything is so messed up, it will, number one, there will be so much error. It will affect your performance. If you won't be able to introduce new data set that you want to join into it, or you want to connect another source. So it's for best practices. It's also important that you ensure that your data quality, you're conscious of the performance optimization that will guide you into designing the kind of model you want for your data. So I think we've spoken, because for the past 20 minutes I'll be talking about just basic things that you need to know about data modeling, and then importance of data modeling. Like you said, yeah, it enables efficient data analysis, data-driven decisions, it promotes data quality and all of that. So quickly, I have a data set here that I just want to use to demonstrate what um, data modeling is about. So what I'll do now is I'll delete everything I have here so that we can start again. Okay. Remove. Okay, so we have a blank sheet. So this is my report view. This is my data view. Okay, if you have the updated Power BI, there's an extra DAX view here. But for the purpose of this demonstration, what we have here is enough to show us what data modeling entails. So here I brought in two data sets into my Power BI. So let me do that again for the purpose of demonstration. Okay. Yes. So there's something I want us to take note of. The data I'm bringing here is a CSV file. If I click on Excel workbook, I won't find it. So maybe there are times that you want to bring in a file, you just assume that it's an Excel workbook and then you can't find it. So let's do that. Can you see? No matching item. Okay. So now it is not available. Why? Because this file is a CSV file. If I try to bring it in as an Excel workbook, you won't find it there. So take note of that. So that's just the basic process of importing my data into Power BI. So now I have student data, I have student testing. You want to ensure that the naming convention, the way you name your data, it is descriptive. You might want to rename this like, oh, this is what you want. You don't want to just use dataset X or anything. You want to make sure that it is descriptive. So I'll just be working with this. So for the data modeling, so the first thing I want to show you is let's know why it is essential or why it is important to ensure that we have an efficient data model. So I'll bring in, heading over to the visual view, sorry, visualization pane here. Okay, so let's work with one of these visuals. So okay, yeah, star column. So yeah, this data is important that you understand what your data is. So let's just do a bit of data, bit of data quality check and the likes. Just it's a part of data cleaning. That's not the purpose of this class, but because of the feedback you gave earlier. Okay. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
You can. Oh, awesome.
I can't
Okay.
see us.
Okay. Can you still see it?
No.
No. Okay. 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 It's okay. It's okay. I'll start sharing again. So I've received a feedback. Okay. Are we good now? Are we
Yes.
good? Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Thank
see
you.
it.
Yeah. All right. So I brought in what's it called? This is a star column chart, and then I have two different data set. I have okay. Let's go back. While you were having the Excel session, I'm sure the facilitator showed you how to use Power Query. So the same method of using Power Query applies to Power BI. So all you want to do is you want to go to your Transform Data tab, click on it. Yes, there's an option to click Transform Data Source Settings. Yep. So this is that you don't want to just bring in your data and start dragging and what do you want to drag and drop when you've not gone through your data? Okay, so add apply some steps here. I'll delete that. This is the fill down, fill up stuff that we're talking about. Okay. Yeah. So this is my data set, and then yes. Okay. So let's head over to view. Yes. So the reason why you could see these 100%, this is 1,000 distinct, 1,000 unique, is because the column distribution and column quality are checked. Let's uncheck it and see what happens. You see, so Power BI had given us the option to look into our column quality and overview, so that most times it shows, yes, the top 1,000 rows. So looking at this is 1,000 distinct, 1,000 unique. This is a primary key, because for a primary key should not be duplicated. That's why it's primary key. If I'm a student in this school, even if I'm a twin, if I have probably a twin brother, a twin sister, who have unique identification number, so that means that I can only be one of myself. So here this is probably I just telling you that this is a primary key. So let's say you're having difficulty, selecting which of these is a primary key or a foreign key, or this column 1 is primary, is unique. There are times that names, someone can bear your name, but then for this particular ID, it has to be unique. So it's just a way of identifying a primary key. Because I could see here that for the name column, we also have 1,000 distinct and 1,000 unique, but it's not always the case. There are times whereby you have someone that is bearing exact name as you, but then in this kind of situation, either your email, which is always unique, or the student ID. This is, in this case, the student number. So that's me looking into my column quality and column distribution. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go to student testing data. So at this point, you can either decide to rename your data here. So I can rename it to anything you want. Just make sure it's descriptive. Student data, or you can give me any other name you want us to rename it to, so we know we are working together. Student testing data. So another thing is that these data sets, they are not real data sets. They are just for the purpose of demonstration. You get. So yep. So this is school year. Okay. So this data set is very particular. It's a sample school. It's not a real school. It's just for the purpose of demonstration. So here we have the student IDs, the student name, and then the extracurricular activities that these students are involved in. And then for the second one, I have this is the school year, the district, the city, the state, the student ID. Remember that that student ID is also on this data here. It's a primary key here. Yes. Okay. We also have the grade. So firstly, when we talk about data cleaning, you have so much of blanks. In fact, these are not nodes, they are all blanks, like blanks. And this is just for 1 year. So it's not left to you to ensure how you want to deal with the blanks and okay, we have no values here. All right, that's fine. So you can either decide to, so most times when you have blanks or you have non-values, it boils down to understanding the data you're working with. So there are times that you have non-values and blanks, and then you know that you want to fill it up with a particular placeholder for the purpose of your analysis. That's because you understand the business properly, or you understand the data you're working with. So we have grade here, we have math score. So every student, there's a score, there's a reading score, there's a math tutor, there's a name for the math tutor. Okay. There is math as null and all of that. So what we want to do here is so we want to fill in for every blank. We're going to fill it with null value first. So you want to, but then we have multiple blanks. You don't want to do this one by one. Imagine you have more columns and then you need to save time also. So what I'll just do here is hold on my control key. So I'm holding on to the control key and highlighting every column that is visible here, that I can see that it's actually blank. Okay, about 3 of them, and then you right click. So I hope you got that. Please, I need our feedbacks. Those of us that are muted, I need our responses. Did you get that? Can I see? Can we drop emoji reactions?
We got
And you're still with me. Are we lost? Nobody's responding. Am I too fast? Are we getting it?
I personally
Ursula, we might need to unmute more people. Okay. About just 2 persons responded just now. Doesn't mean we have just 2 people that are following us. We could also drop a chat. I need to be sure that we are working together and then nobody is lost. Okay, Joshua has raised his hand, so I'll mute you. You have access to the mic, Joshua. Joshua, please, you can.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm following.
All
We're
right,
getting it.
that's awesome. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead, please. Yeah. So remember that this is Power Query Editor, and then you remember that we moved from the transform tab and then we got to this place. Okay, so what I'm doing now is that I said I'm going to click on the control key and then click every column that I want to select here. So they are blank, in fact, no value at all. So I'll right click and then do a replace value. And the reason why we are doing this is that you don't want to start replacing value one after, like manually, when you can do everything at once. You get. So value to find, since it's a blank, so you leave it blank and then replace with. So I'm going to replace all the blanks with null first. Let's do that. Okay. So now every blank that we have here has been replaced with null. And then the next thing I want to do now is that 19 unique. Okay. Empty 90. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to do is that. So now this is where the fill up thing comes. I think so 1 or 2 persons mentioned about the fill ups. So I'll right click and then. So for the fill up or fill down. So now look at this. Okay. So this data has been sorted in ascending order. Has been sorted in ascending order. So meaning that now, if we scroll through, we could see that majority of our null values are actually like below. You don't have anything above. If you hardly sort descending order, let's do that. But with the way this data set is right now, the first row we have the data here. The only place where we have null are actually below. So at that point, you just fill down. So it's just like a 1-0 logic kind of thing. Do we get that? I need our response, please.
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
got
got
it.
it.
Can you see? I sorted in descending order now. You can't fill up. Now we have values up and these guys are down. Do we get that?
Yes, ma.
All right. So let's just take that away. Okay. So I want to see my null. So what I'll just do it now is I'll right click and do my fill down. So when I fill down, what Power BI is automatically filling for every null value I have here with this first Alderwood County schools that is here. Let's take note of something. So it was filling down with Alderwood until it got to reach public education, which was not null. So let's go back and this is line 51, right? So let's take note of it. So let's undo that step and see what is happening. Line 51. So line 50. So what it's doing is that at every point it encounters a value, it continues filling down with that value. So we're just using it to fill up this fill up for every known value that is here. And one thing is that for when you're working with Power BI, you can always, just play around with the functionalities. Do fill up and see what you get. Try fill down also. And I hope that after this session we'll practice, and then we'll get better with time. Okay, so I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to fill down. You see, it applies here. So this was not part of I had already done this to this data before, but because we mentioned it, that's why I'm doing this again. Okay, now, so now that we've filled every null here with the value that are in the column. Okay, math tutor period. Okay, so I mentioned something about when you're working with a data set, you only want to work with the columns that are relevant to what you want to do. And then so far, our student testing data is our dimension table. You could see we have city, the state, meaning that it tells us more information about student data. So for every student that is here, the student ID, the name, the extracurricular activities, and the likes, it tells us, oh, this is student ID, right? Yes, it tells us the city, the state, the district, the school year that the particular student belongs to, the grade, and every other information around that. So let's really go back to data modeling. So that's just that on the fill up, and then I hope we've gotten the why column quality and column distribution are also important. They are just there to help you get an overview of what your data looks like. So let's close and apply. Okay, close and apply. Oh, okay. Doesn't have a table node. Okay, what's that? Okay, let's go back and see what happened again. Transform. So we fill this, fill with we replaced with null first, and then we filled up every null with fill down. Okay, we can do everything at once instead of one by one. But I was just trying to show you what happened there. Yes, close and apply. Yes, we are fine. So I don't know what happened at that point in time, but we just did the same thing and then close and apply. Okay, so at this point, there is no relationship between the two table that we have here, the two tables, no relationship here. And data modeling is basically creating relationship between tables. So let's see why it is important. So quickly work with okay, I think I already brought in stack column visual. Yes, so let's bring in let's bring in this. And so for everybody that is into extracurricular, let's see the relationship between their score. Should we use score? Let's see math. Let's use math tutor. Okay, count of extracurricular and this. So most times when our data appears like this, probably because there's no relationship between the two data. So for every math tutor, want to see the extracurricular activity that they are assigned to, but then everything is looking like the counts are the same for everybody. It's not possible. And in fact, it's not even about it's not possible. It's not true. So this is 999, 999, 999. No. So that's because we've not yet modeled the data. So let's go to data model. So about 3 different ways of modeling your data. You can either drag and drop, you can head over to manage relationships, or you can make Power BI auto detect the relationship. That's in your settings. So let's try the first while I show you the 3 other ways of creating relationship. So now that you understand your data and then you know that student number here is a is a foreign key. Yes. Okay. So we'll create a relationship between student testing data and student data using the student number and then the student ID here. So now when we create the relationship, when you can see the line there, and then it's the arrow here is facing down, and then there's like an asterisk here. Yes. So student here is a primary key, and then student ID here is a foreign key. So it means that what we are saying here is that this is one to many, and then if you click, yes, we click on this, we can see cross direction filter is single. It means that you can only use student number to filter through student testing data, just alone, but then you can't use student ID to filter through student data. That's why that's what cross filter direction option here is talking about. There's an option that says single, there's both. If you say both, you're trying to say that you can filter both ways, but most times it's when it auto detects it this way, the cross direction filter that is always there is always single. And then this arrow is facing down. So it's just a function of the way you arrange your or the tables in your modeling. So can you see right now it is facing up? So you don't want this to confuse you about anything. It's just positional. Depending on the way you are carrying it, can go up, it can go down. But then the one and the asterisk here is saying that the relationship here is one to many. Meaning that we only have an instance, a unique value for student number on this table just once. While it is now featuring this table with many instances of student number here. So the thing is that you don't want to confuse the fact that this is named as student number and this is named as student ID does not mean that they are different. They are the same thing. And that this plays out when you understand you've gone through your data and then you understand that, oh, student number and student ID are also speaking to the same thing. So this relationship is one to many. Yes. So to move to this pane, what I did is that I double clicked on the line. I shown the relationship. Yes. So here you can edit your relationship. So now it's saying many to one. So let's show us something. Now we have one to many. It's just the arrangement. So you can decide to. So it's saying that student testing data, which is what we actually have here. Student testing data is showing us that there are multiple instances of these students on this table. That's why it is many. But on the table student data, it is just one. It is appearing one because it is unique. It is distinct. It is unique. So this is student ID. So if you want it to show like many to one, no, that's not possible. So now let me show you what to do at this point. So what I'm trying to say is that there's nothing to be confused about. There's just the arrangement. So you can switch this to student data and then this guy to student testing data, and then highlight the relationship you want to create, which is on student number, and here it is what student ID. I was expecting someone to respond. All right. Yes.
ID.
Great. So now you can see that it's now one to many. Did you see what happened? You can't come here and change it to many to one. It won't, because it's positional. It's telling you that if you say many to one, it will throw an error, because here we have student data, and student data contains only unique occurrence of student number. There is no duplicate on this column. So it can't be many to one. You get? So if you want to switch it again, it's just for you to switch and then to be it to be many to one. Yes. So I'll highlight that, oh, I'm creating a relationship between my student ID and student number, and that is many to one. So most common relationship that I will see most times is one to many, many to one is just positional, like I just showed us now. Okay, so now let's go back to to this is called a report view. Okay, it hasn't synced yet. So we've created a relationship now. Oh, okay, we created a relationship now. That should change. So let me refresh. Okay, so now did you see, I want you to take note of what happened just now. Let me go back. Let me show you that. I want to show you that again. So I did extracurricular on math tutor. Let's undo that. So Power BI allows you to undo last action, just the way we do Control Z on our desktop. Okay, yes. So now that I had created the relationship between student data and student testing, earlier I explained that the fact that these figures, you could see that it's showing 9999 all true. It's showing that there is no relationship. There is no relationship between the two tables, and that is why it is appearing like that. Now that I've created a relationship, it is not changing. Why? Because what I just need to do, I just take out these values again and bring it in afresh. I think it was math tutor that we brought in. Did we get that? Please, I need our responses.
No, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me take that again. So I was saying, so it's immediately you what's it called? You create the relationship. You should be able to correct the error that was here before. Let's delete the relationship again. So the reason why we add 999 all true. In fact, when you create yes, when you create a visual and then they're all appearing the same like this, and you've gone through your data even while you're cleaning, and or you know the values cannot be the same thing. This is a count of each math tutor and the extracurricular activity that they are linked to. Let's go to Power Query. We head over to transform data, click on data transform, and then this is student testing. So we have student data here. They are for every student, their curricular activity, right? And then on this table, for every student, there's a math tutor assigned, there's a math tutor hours, there's a reading tutor, there's math tutor. Okay, you can also do the same fill up thing we did here. Okay, so highlight, replace every blank with null. So when you replace, you don't have to put anything in because it is the value you're finding is actually blank. So you leave it blank and then replace with null, and then okay, I rearrange that so I can fill down. For the purpose of this analysis, we don't want any empty or any blank cell. We don't want blank cell, and that's why. Did you see I filled down just now? That was because I changed my sorting to descending order, such that every value at the top here, every row at the top here, add a value for a math tutor, and then for the null value that are below, I fill them up with the pattern that is existing above it. So I did fill down. So what I'm trying to say here is that for every student, now we have a math tutor assigned. So let me just do close and apply. So when you don't close and apply, the changes will not be saved. So you need to close and apply, yes. So now most time when you see that, now look at the count of math tutor, it's not 2000, 2000, 2000 for everybody. No. Look at the transform transform tab, go to Power Query. You could see that total number of math tutor. Yeah, where's math tutor? So this is where column distribution comes in. Math tutor. Okay, we have 42 distinct math tutor. There are 42. So why are we seeing 2000? That's a way to show you that you have probably not created a relationship between your data set. So when you see this calls for creating relationship between, because we are picking from two different tables. So I selected extracurricular from student data, and I also pick math tutor from another table, and they don't have relationship. So it will most likely appear like this, and that's why I mentioned that it's necessary to create relationship. So now that we've created relationship, student number to student ID, yes, this is one to many. And then coming back here, automatically it changes. Can you see that it has changed? Do we get that now? I think someone said no the other time. Do you get it now? So when you create relationship, it will filter it accordingly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's what I'm just trying to say, that creating relationship filters accordingly. There's another thing that I want to show us here. So automatically, most times when you bring in data into Power BI, it sums up numeric value. So you can see the summing up here. Math tutor. Oh, I'd remove the sum up from the spiral to the class. So I have to okay. Let me bring it in afresh so that we can find the sum. But most times the sum, so I have to bring it in afresh so we can see what I'm talking about. So let's just get data again. Remember I said if it's a CSV file and you open Excel workbook, you won't find it. It's not going to appear. So student testing data, I'm bringing it in. I might rename it now.
What does it mean?
I'm trying to bring in this data afresh again so that you can see the way Power BI automatically sums up numerical value. So right here, I had already moved it while we were speaking. I'm not sure most of us got it. That's why I'm showing it again. Yes. So now this is the new data set. Can you see? So by default, here I had taken it off. I wanted to show you what I did to take it off, but it's best that you see that most of when you bring in data, the numeric value, Power BI sums it up. You can see the sigma sign here. You can see math score, math tutor, and all of that. So let me show you why sometimes you might want to take it out. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to make us understand the various things that you can do with data modeling. So when you have all of these skills in your toolbox, you can decide to work with anyone. So let's bring in a table, and then I want to show math score automatically. Can you see? Power BI sums. This is the sum of math score for math score, and then the maths are it's going to sum it again. So I'm saying, so now get rid of this sum. You want it to show a breakdown of math score, not summing it up. You get. So what I did, I'm going to delete this. This is for demonstration. I've already done that here. So I'm going to math score. So what we have here is a math score and what? Okay, math tutor have. So we have math score. So you click on it on the column you want to adjust, and then you scroll down to advanced. So on advanced, there is summarized by sum. So arrow down and then you change it to null. So that's why this math score here is without the sigma sign. That's how you can take it off. So let me also do for math tutor as. Yes, math tutor as. So I'm going to click on it again and then take out sum and convert it to null. Do we get that? So now if I go back to my report view, do we get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So if I go back to my report view now, I'm taking off this guy and then bring in math. In fact, the sigma sign is off already. Math and then math 2 hours. Can we see the breakdown? Can we see it now compared to what we had before? Did we get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Yes. So now let's talk more on data modeling again. Okay, Control Z. So let's go back to data modeling. So let me take off this. Yes. I don't need this now. Okay. So most times there are various types of relationship. This is one to many. We've seen many to one. Sometimes there's many to many. I think someone asked about okay, no, it's not in this class. There's many to many. Most times Power BI does most time when Power BI auto dictates many to many, it's going to try an error that you want to be careful using this. And many to many that you are sure that the number of instances that let's say ID is appearing multiple times on this table A and also appearing multiple times A, you are sure that they are actually the same count. So it's actually tricky, and Power BI will probably give you a notification that you have to be careful with this. But before we go there, let me show you the other ways of creating relationship. I mentioned you can do the manual drag and drop, and then you can come to yes, to manage relationship, yes, and do new. So this is active. So let's assume we've not created relationship here. So let's delete the relationship that is here. Let's delete this and create manage relationship. Yes. So you do new. Power BI will delete all of your table in your data set, table in your that you've brought into Power BI. So this is student data. Yes. So what I'll now do now is that it's for me to now highlight the columns I want to create relationships with, the fields. So you know when we say fields, when we say column, they mean the same thing. So now automatically Power BI has seen it that it is one to many. You want to ensure that the relationship is active, is highlighted. This is one to many. So you can see that we could have a relationship that shows many to one. You can have one to one, meaning that it's just one instance of this the column value. Let's say just one ID, unique ID, and also just one on the other table. Also, that's one to one. One to many is what we have here, meaning that we have just distinct value
Ma'am,
for a student here. Hello? Someone is
there are
saying something.
questions in the chat box for you.
Okay. Okay, all right. I'll look at that now. The student data and student data, student testing data, one to many. We explain what one to many is, meaning that in a class of 10, you can only have 10 unique IDs. Then in their exam scores, or sales is a best, like a very good example to use. So sales now, I have 10 customers in my business. I have 10 customers, but these 10 customers can do multiple transactions with me. So it means that my transaction table at the beginning of the month it dates. Okay, right now you've bought like 5 things this morning already. So it means that my ID will continue showing, like it will be duplicated on that table for every item I purchase. So that's many. So meanwhile, on my customer table that shows overall, all the customers I have are just 10, just that they are returning customers. They do multiple repetitive transactions with me. On that table, the customer ID will appear multiple times. Why? Because you are buying things frequently, you are buying again and again and again. So your ID will continue replicating on that table. That is many. Meanwhile, on our customer table, where we have only 10 customers, I am only going to have 10 IDs of my customers, 10 distinct customers. So that's the whole idea of one to many. So are we getting it now? So this is another method of creating relationship. The third one is you set your Power BI to auto dictate relationship. So anytime you bring in data into the modeling view, it will auto detect the relationship. I'll show that. Let me quickly go through the charts so that we can answer one or two questions before showing us that. Okay, chat box. Okay. Okay, this is the chat box. Okay. Okay. Okay, can you explain one to many? And when was that hacked? Busola, I explained that on the call. Do you want me to go through that again?
Yes. You can
Okay,
go through it again.
we can unmute that person so that he or she can
Person asked before you explain it just
before
now.
Abi.
So I think
What did
should
you
have
say? If you're lower,
that.
please, you're not audible enough.
The person asked that long ago, so you've just explained it again. I think the person should be okay with the current explanation you gave.
Okay, so I should go through it again.
I don't think you need to, except the
Okay, so
person.
all right. Busala, let's unmute Glory Fadeyomi. I'm so sorry. Please
All
Adeyomi.
right.
raise your hand so you can be unmuted so that you can ask your question. I believe you should be clear by now. I just need confirmation from you. I'm waiting.
I can't see her hand. I don't think she
Maybe
wants to
she's
raise it.
not on the call again. Okay, so someone asked about relationship cardinality. That was what I was explaining before before you called my attention to the chat box. We were talking about one-to-many relationship, many-to-many, many-to-one. That's what relationship cardinality is about. So if you can also raise your hand so that Bukosola can unmute you, because I was explaining that now before your your message came in. Can you take that again? The screen is off. I think these are previous. Please, can you explain one many, many one again? Okay, many to one, one to many. Because I need to be sure that we are clear on that. That was what I was explaining just now. So if this person can kindly, yes. Okay, so the hands are raised. So Busola, kindly up to unmute Agbat. So I'm so sorry, I don't want to pronounce your name wrongly. Okay, has it been unmuted?
Yes, I've been
Yes.
unmuted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's is my name. So,
Okay.
concerning what you just said, the relationship cardinality that you explained now, one thing I want to get clear is that the one to many and many to one. The situation is that, like the sales example you gave, talking
Yes.
about your customers, we have just 10 customers, and then on the transaction tables, we have
Yes.
them having repeated transactions, meaning that that transaction tables, the customer's ID will be a foreign key in that transaction table.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then
Yes.
we are not
That
going
most times on fact table is always a foreign key. Yes, you're correct.
to, so we are not going to remove duplicates on that transaction table then.
No, transaction, you're removing transaction. No, you can't. So that's where
Okay.
data modeling comes in. So you can now link your customer detailed table dimension, which will become your customer dimension table to your fact. Or let's use another example. Your customer has one address, and that address belongs to one customer. Although address can easily change, but I think the example we gave is the best. So do you get that?
Yes, I get. I just need to know that it's only on the dimension table that we can remove duplicates.
Yes. So your dimension table should basically contain your primary key. If I have, so because most times dimension table do not change. They can change you, but it's not something that change frequently. For businesses, the major business events which are stored on our fact table, they are always changes, dynamic. You can, in fact, that's essence of analysis, because today now you might have, or last month, let's say you have sales that was so much, and then this month you don't have so much sales. It means there's some data that keep coming in and coming. So it means there will always be duplicates on fact tables. On that transaction table, there is. So the customer ID on your sales table is a foreign key. Do you get that?
Yes, got it.
So it means
Thank you.
that that customer is in our customer table, is on our customer dimension table. We have the details of that customer. It can only appear once because this customer is one. We are uniquely identifying that customer as just one customer. But whereas the customer we have multiple transactions on our sales table. So that's it.
Excuse me,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So in layperson, we can just say our dimension table are the ones that carry the one, and then the fact table are like the many.
Yes, foreign key. So we have duplicates. It's without.
Thank Someone is asking a question that are unique value and distinct value same thing? If not,
What is
what
it?
is it? Someone asked a question in the chat box just now. Are unique value and distinct value same thing? If not, what is it?
Okay. All right. Let me read through that. Are unique values and this? No, they are not. They are not. They are not the same. So most times, like now, let's say you are either you are either male or female. You get. Let's most I use gender to like to explain the differences for people. So let's say you have a data set now for each person's gender now. Your gender is unique to you. If you're a male, you are uniquely male. And if this person is female, you are uniquely female. It means you can either be male or female. So I realized while I was speaking so far, I've been chipping in the word unique and distinct, and I knew the question will come up. So when you talk about distinct, so now distinct are now two different gender that appear only once in that list. So it means that don't be confused though. Fine, distinct, you are either male or you are either female. But now when we talk about unique now, like sorry, what's your name? Who asked the question? Can you please unmute the person that asked the question? I need to engage him or her. Please raise your hand so we can unmute you. I need to be sure that you are cleared so that, because I remember also when I was, when I was starting this journey, and also it used to be an issue, but I finally acted and I'm so glad to share with you. So please raise your hand so we can unmute you. I need you to confirm that you're fine. So Busola, kindly help to unmute um the
I've given
person.
her my
Hello, good morning.
permission.
Hello, good
Okay.
morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Given.
Okay. Thank you very much, please. Thank
Yes.
you for the explanations you have given. So what I'm asking is, so there are times when you see that the unique value and the distinct
The
value
same.
are
The
the
same.
same, yes. And
Yes,
there are other
yes.
times when you see that they are different.
Yes,
So
yes.
what makes them same and what makes them different?
Okay.
I understand that unique value should be something like your primary key. What about the
No.
distinct value?
Okay. Don't take that as a basic explanation of what unique or distinct. The thing is that if once you understand what a unique value is, a distinct value is, then you've acted it already. So in clear terms, so far I've been using clear terms because you read so much confusing. What's a unique um a unique key is basically saying, like, now you are one of a kind. Even if you have a twin brother, you are the only one of your kind. Do you get that? Sorry, what's your name, please? Can you please assist me to pronounce your name, please?
Yes, I get that part. Yes, the unique parts, yes. Like
Wait, hold on.
instance,
Okay, give me an
registration,
instance.
let's say your
Yes,
registration or your account number, those are unique values. They should only appear once.
yes.
Okay,
That's
so
unique. You've answered it. So yes, I
what
was
about
explaining.
distinct?
Okay,
What about distinct?
okay, yes. So like now I give an example of male and female. So if you have a data set now, you have a column gender. Do you know that column gender, you are going to have, let's say you have okay, how many people do you have on the call? Let's say we have 70 people. No, let's not use 70. Yes, let's say 70. We have 70 people on the call. So on that column, we have a gender that shows, let's assume we have 35 males and we have 35 female. In that column gender with their names, or let's say their gender rather, male, female, male, female, male, female. If you do that, so let's just I'll give you that as an assignment to do. I would love to see your submission also. So if you do that, when we go to Power Query and then the column distribution option there is checked, and quality value profile and distribution is checked, you would see that what you find there is that you are going to see two unique values, and you're going to yes, you're going to see two unique. I'm going to see, okay, let's do that, because you're going to see two unique in the sense that you can either be male or female. Do you get? Then the other will show, it's going to show about, I think, 35 distinct. Let's do that. Let's do it. Let's go to Power Query and do that. Okay, that'll mean coming up with an Excel file with that. So we're going to have two distinct. Should we do that now? But basically, we're going to have male and female, which are two distinct genders. And then in total, everybody is unique. Like I said, one of a kind. Everybody is unique. We're going to have 70. We're going to have 70 unique people and two distinct, because you are either male or female. While the fact that even though we have repeating male and female, since they are different people with their name, they're going to be 70 distinct. So let's come up with a sample file. Let's do a 10 rule instead of 70. Is that fine?
Okay, can we make it a bit simpler? Let's say there are 5 people.
Yeah, okay.
And
Let's say yes. Okay, let's come up with that in Excel now. Let's
5
come up
people
with that in Excel.
Okay.
Let's come up with that so that we don't speak from ideas. Let's come up with that. So at the end of the day,
Okay, so
I
what I
think
was
five
thinking
is not even six. Let's use 6 rows. We have six unique gender, and then we have two distinct. So let's say male gender, male. Let's do male, 3 male, female. So gender, we can only have two type of gender. You're either on this table can only have two different type of gender, like what we have here. The distinct one are male and female, because although they are it's repeating itself, but then it is you are either a male or a female on this table. I know we have other gender, but for this particular data set, we have the only distinct value here is male and female. So let me save that to, let's save that to, oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, I have to stop sharing and share again. So let's save that to, I'm saving that offline while I stop sharing my screen.
Okay, that's
Download.
fine.
Yeah. Yes. Unique is just you are one of a kind. Yes. I think someone said that, but let's do that on the call instead of second guessing. Saving it to this folder. Okay. Gender check. Okay. So once I bring it in, I'll start sharing my screen again. Excel workbook. So can we see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to have two distinct. So let's see. Okay, so let's go to our transform tab. So from our transform tab, yes. Wow, this is not true. It's two distinct. Is that male or gender? Okay, so can you see what happened now? So I did not indicate that my data has header. So the reason why we are seeing three distinct now is seeing gender, male, female as three, even though they are repetition. So the only thing that is unique here is gender, because gender is only appearing just once. So in student data, you see we had 1,000 distinct, 1,000 unique. It means that all of this value 1, 2, 3, there's no duplicate at all on this table, and they're also distinct. So compared to what we have on student 3, let me take out gender so that we'll stop confusing ourselves. What we have here is two distinct, because you are either male or female. So when we have distinct, most times that there's an instance of duplication on that table. Then Power BI helps to now select, more like categorize it. So you're either male on this, in these are sample data set, or you're either female or gender. So now that's why it's saying three distinct. So let me go back here and then let's promote. There's an option to do view. Okay. So can everybody still hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Close. Hold on. Okay. So we'll go to transform again. Yes. So what I'm trying to do is that, so when I brought in, so this also happened. I'm glad that this happened now. So when I brought in this data set, I did not identify that this gender is a column header. So in Power BI, you can easily select that, oh, gender, or this row one, oh, it's my column header. It's not part of my data set. Do you get that? Because immediately I saw three dicks, I knew that there was a problem. So the issue is that we did not inform Power BI that gender is a header. Do we get that? So all you have to do is you just click on the cells that helps you promote. Yes, use first row as headers. Yep. Did you see what I did just now? There's an option to select first row as a header in Power Query. Yes. So now, so this answers our question, our assumption. So I prefer we give response with practical terms than assuming. So for unique values are always one of a kind. So if I include something that is not related to gender here, it's going to come out as a single unique value. It means there are no duplications, no duplication at all. It is not repeating itself at all. But for distinct, there could be duplication of that particular value. So let's say I don't want to go through the whole Excel exercise again. You can create a column that has multiple numbers, and you can even duplicate it. At the end of the day, if you duplicate 2 5 times on a table and then another number follows, it's going to take 2 as 1. And then looks into the data again. There's any duplication again, it picks that another value again. So that's why we are seeing two distinct here. So you are either male or female according to our data set, and then we have 0 unique, meaning that there is no single, just as the name implies. Like I said, you are one of a kind. Even though you have a twin brother or anything, you are still one of a kind. So that explains why we have 1,000 distinct and 1,000 unique. If you go to student testing data, we have two distinct and 0 unique. Does that mean we have just 2 rows of data here? No. It means that 2023, 2024 is duplicated though, but we'll pick it as a single value. We also have 2022, 2023. And that means these are the only instance of school year throughout the data set. That is why you can see it as 2 distinct. If you see 19 distinct here, it means that there could be duplication, but then we have just 19 distinct of it. 15 distinct years. This is another example. We have 774 distinct years, 548 unique. It means that although there may be duplications, but then we have 774 distinct and 548 non-repeating one-of-a-kind value. Do we get that?
Yes,
Nobody's
ma'am.
responding. Do we
Yes.
get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I understand what you have explained.
I think by now, I think nobody should have issue mixing up unique and the distinct again. So in the past, it can get confusing. I think I can relate to what you're explaining. But then unique and not repeating one of a kind. So thank you, everyone. Let's see if you have any other question.
Thank you very much. Explanation has clarified it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I think what other thing we've mentioned? Yes, I was trying to show us different ways of creating relationship. Then the third one, you can also set Power BI to auto pick it. There's going to be an I hope what's it called? I hope we sent attendance list and then assignments. There's an assignment link. Busola, kindly confirm that you've gotten the assignment link so you can share.
I have the quiz link with me.
Oh, okay, that's great. What about the attendance also?
It's with me also.
Okay, so we've explained many to many. Shouldn't it be too distinct? Okay, that was in the past. Okay, we've passed that. All right, so we've been able to explain many to many, one to many, many to many relationship in Power BI data modeling. We've also explained what data normalization is. What the normalization is, just like the opposite, introducing redundancy and duplication into your data set. And that will bring us to the end of this particular session. So tomorrow we'll be having more on DAX, and then if there's any other thing we need to touch more here, it will continue tomorrow. So Busola. Busola, you have the mic.
All right. Thank you, Abisola, for the class. It was truly wonderful. Please, everyone, you can start attempting the quiz. I've already sent the link to the chat box. I will send the attendance to also so that you can fill in the attendance. Thank you very much.
Okay, Busola, we can also stop the recording too.